Hi everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of our project analysis series. Today we are talking about the Upperhouse. What an atas name.
So where is this Upperhouse?
Upperhouse, where is it? It's at Orchard Boulevard. Yes.
It's not just atas name, it's also very atas address to begin with. But of course, I think we have been telling you all that we will be sharing a lot on the CCR project. Not just the CCR, I think some of the projects is on the RCR area, but they are actually very, very close to the CCR. So in this next few analysis, we will be focusing a lot in this location. But Upperhouse is a bit different from those that is in River Valley and Zion.
Yeah, that reminds me, this is the first time we are actually doing an analysis for a luxury product because most of our analysis are based on mass market products. So today's analysis will be a bit different. We are touching on a lot of the price acceptance point in this area.
Yes.
Because I think when we talk about Orchard Boulevard, Upperhouse, the first thing we think of is expensive.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
But of course, being us, we are always analyzing projects that is more to the outskirts and maybe the RCR and maybe some of the CCR, but it's not like within the Lux area. When I first understand what is the price that they might be launching at, I was a bit surprised and I thought that it was a bit high until we really dive deep and go and do some research and we found quite a lot of findings. So today's episode will be very different because we are not going to talk about what are some of the usual projects that we talk about. We are really diving into the heart of the CCR area, and this is actually a very good location project. So we will start from here to let you all understand how is it different in terms of pricing in this location.
Let's start off with the project info first. For this Upperhouse, I think first thing first, the developer itself is actually UOL, right? And they are going to have 301 units on a plot of land that is about 7,000 square meter size. To give you an idea what is a 7,000 square meter, you know where Gramercy Park is, right? It's half of the land size of Gramercy Park. Why I want to touch on this because I think for core central region, right, other than diving into the data, the numbers, one more important thing is the feel of the project and also the unit and also the kind of quality that they use because the target market is a bit different. They are not going to just focus on numbers itself.
Yes, correct. In the central region, there's a lot of things that we look at. First thing is the facade of the condo. Second is the address of the condo. That's extremely important. Like example, if you go to Grange, if you go to Nassim, if you go to Orchard Boulevard, these are the areas that is one of the most pricey in terms of per square foot and in terms of quantum in this location. And there's also a lot of units that is built in very big size. Later we will share with you a bit more. But in the CCR area, we are not looking as per how we actually look at other projects.
Correct.
The buyers here are looking for very different things. You have to look at many other things that is more working towards the CCR region buyer. So whenever I always tell you all that it's very important when I buy a property is that I need to look at what my future buyer will be looking for. So if I can find something that my future buyer will like and is at a good price, then this is something that I can go in for.
So one more important thing for this project is that it's a 99-year leasehold because in the surrounding there's quite a number of freehold developments, but of course they are of different price tag unless you are looking at the much older resale ones. So where's the exact location? So as you can see, it's just located opposite of the Good Class Bungalow area, and this is where the exact location is, just right next to the Orchard Boulevard MRT actually.
So the location-wise, in Orchard, to be honest, whether you're near MRT or not, is not one of the key points, but this is a bonus.
It's not a selling point.
Because MRT is very important for rental. So if you are buying this and you're not going to stay there, you're going to rent out, MRT will increase the rentability, which means that you will get rented out faster. But if you talk about whether it's profitable if you're near MRT, in Orchard, not so. You will see a lot of projects in the Kent Hill area. Although Kent Hill is very convenient, but Kent Hill is not the most sought after location or address in Orchard area. The sought after address is like Grange. You cannot find MRT anywhere.
More of like privacy, not as accessible because I guess most of the people who actually would prefer to stay in town area, they can actually afford a car.
Correct. I think that the very important thing about this location is that you need to take a drive down there to understand whether this is a nice place for you to own, stay, all these things. A lot of people are focusing a lot on when I go home, I don't want to be too crowded. So places like that in Orchard are usually the one that's making the most money. If you can see the upper house, it's actually right beside the good class bungalow region, which is here. And there's another 2-story semi-detached area. So we are very cluttered within the landed location itself, which means one thing. If you are cluttered within the landed location, it is that you will have lesser car, lesser traffic, because there isn't so many cars to begin with. Imagine surrounding is all condos, then the number of cars coming in and out will be much higher. So this is one thing that you want to take note. Next, we want to go into the site plan.
So for the site plan wise, right, it's just one singular block. Then we have a mixture of a 1-bedroom to the 4-bedroom. But for this development, right, later we'll show you in terms of the unit mix, right, the bigger units are actually much lesser. The focus here is more on the 1 and the 2.
Bigger units, much lesser. There is a high chance developer will price the bigger unit higher in terms of per square foot. So we always think that smaller unit will be higher per square foot, but in Orchard, it might be a bit different because honestly, projects in Orchard, the bigger units sell faster than the smaller one. Later we will share with you what do I think the price will be like.
This is the location map. So just now we already show you the area. We just want to put the map of this project into the space itself to show you that actually regardless which facing that you have is mostly unblocked. Okay, so later we'll go into the specific. This is quite interesting. For this development, right, from level 28 onwards, a lot of units will come with visual screen. In some development, like near the Hillview area, we call it like fins, which they put it in place because at the GCB area, there are important people living there. So you can't really look directly into the area. So if you're looking at a high floor, your view will be like in pieces because of the fins. You have to go to the SHOWFLAT to see for yourself.
So you can see from here, some things to take note. These are some of the important floor levels that you want to know where's the fins at, and actually different bedroom type, there's different fins that you want to take note. I think these are some of the very small details that these are the units that we definitely want to avoid. If we can get units that is without the visual screen, it would be better.
Yes.
Even the 4-bedroom, there will be some units that the visual screen will be right in front of the balcony. There will be some that is beside. So we definitely want to go for the one that is on the sideway one. I mean, definitely for 4-bedroom, the views are extremely important. So if imagine every day you go out, you see the visual screen. Not saying that it will not be good, but buyers will prefer the one that is without. If you are buying and on the first day you have choice, not all the units are sold, you can choose the unit. Then these are the fine details that is very important for you to take note.
I think one more thing other than the visual screen, right, there is another term for this development for the 4-bedroom is called the balcony fins. So this balcony fins is part of the aesthetic part of the facade. It is not to block off any view per se, but it's just the aesthetic. So later when we go through the big units, which is the 4-bedroom, we will go through the specific in terms of prioritization, right? How to prioritize if you are going for the 4-bedroom, how to select those without the balcony fins. So next on to the distribution chart and the unit mix. As I said just now, you can see that developer is heavily focused on the 1 and 2 bedder itself. Wow, that's actually a lot. So it's more than 50% of the development.
169 is 2-bedroom. There's another 67, which is the 1+ study. I always got a thought that like when you see our Opus video, we focus a lot on the big units. We say the big units are something that is very desirable for that location. But when I'm doing Upper House, I was also having the same thought. But after looking at the possible launch price, I do feel that the 1 and 2 bedroom do offer some opportunity here. Later we will share with you a bit more on that. We always talk about demand and supply. When this location, the demand is higher on the 3 and 4, then we want to buy the 3 and 4. But if the situation is the demand is higher for the 3 and 4, but the 3 and 4 prices are not super attractive comparing to the 1 and 2, then the 1 and 2 might make sense. Because price point is still very important when you want to resell.
Yes.
So that's very important. So later we'll share a bit more.
Firstly, before any layman person can actually accept, let's say you're an upgrader in the outskirts, right? Or in the RCR, you're trying to upgrade to this prime area. I think the first common objection a lot of people have is that this Upper House is located along the Orchard Boulevard. And we also know that upcoming there is a lot of River Valley launches, right? So in terms of price point, Upper House is quite high lah. Higher.
So I think one of the key question is with so many launch in River Valley coming, and we know that a lot of them will be at the lower price. For example, River Green, they built the unit 2-bedroom at 527, which means that the unit will be around 1.4 to 1.5, very highly possible.
Super attractive.
And I also hear say Zion Plot B, which is Promenade Peak, they might start from 2.4 to 5, possible, because 63 story, if they want to price it more than 2.7, the top floor will become 3,500, 3,600. So to keep the top floor at about 3,003, 3,004, the second floor need to start from 2.4 to 5. So it makes sense. But to look at this perspective, with those projects coming out at, let's say 2.6, let's say you can buy at 2.6, then this upper house will be starting from 2.9. Then we will be thinking, I think all of you will be also thinking, why would I not want to buy River Valley? Because it's also under CCR and under Orchard. Some of the projects under RCR, but it's also under Orchard region that is very near to the town area. So today we want to also go through this because there is definitely a price gap between these two locations, which I myself last time do not understand. But after doing all the research, everything, I find out there's always have been a gap between River Valley, Orchard, Boulevard and Nassim area and even Grange areas. We cannot take the perspective of like...
They are just central region products. This one is cheaper. So you need to understand like people who are really living in this area, what is their take on, for example, Nassim versus River Valley. Obviously, they are way apart, way different product, even though they are both located around that central region.
It's just as simple as the price gap between Jurong East and Jurong West.
Yes.
There is definitely a price gap because in Orchard, sometimes we always view Orchard as a whole, but actually Orchard also got region that is much higher in terms of per square foot, in terms of quantum. So now we are going to go through that. Upper house is actually in Orchard Boulevard area, which is, you can see how near is it to the Orchard Road area. So comparing to River Valley, which is a bit further away,
Which is here.
River Valley is here, so it's a bit further out. Then you can see the most expensive area is actually Upmore and Nassim. So you can see these three areas is actually very close by each other. But of course, if you ask me, Upmore and Nassim is still more preferred. But if you look closely, they are not far away from each other. Now we want to take projects of the past to do a comparison for you because we want to show you last time is there also a gap.
Yes, the gap between say Nassim Orchard Boulevard area and also the River Valley. We took like leasehold and freehold products that were launched years ago. So for the leasehold, right, we actually took comparison between 19 Nassim and Riviere. Riviere is our last time party area.
Last time Zoom. So Riviere is under D3, this is under D10. So 9-10 will be very similar. But honestly now district is not one of the key things that we look at. We look at the area and the locality. Why are we comparing these two? Because Riviere is really very nearby to all the launches that is coming out. The 2 Zion plot, the 2 River Green plot is all nearby Riviere. So Riviere was transacting minimum at 2008, average at about 2009, highest at about $3,000. So you can see Riviere, the developer strategy is that they didn't put a big gap between the units that is transacting. That's why you don't see a very low minimum price and you don't see a very high maximum price. But now you look at 19 Nassim, is transacting at about $3,000 to all the way to about $3,600. So you can see the difference between River Valley, both is 99, versus Nassim, there is always a 10% to 20% gap. Because these two projects launched at almost the same time, you can see that their TOP date is the same, their land purchase date is actually 1 year apart. Next, 2 freehold one. These are 2 freehold projects. Avinia, which is in the heart of River Valley, versus Boulevard 88. Both freehold. This one is $3,000 all the way to $3,600. This is $3,800 to $4,100. So you can see very clearly there's almost a 20% gap between River Valley and Orchard, which is the Nassim, all this area. So this has always been there in terms of the difference. Even with all these things, with all this gap, it doesn't mean that the Boulevard 88 won't make money. They still make money. We
still see profitable transactions.
So you just have to understand one thing, that there will always be a premium for product in this region, that is upper house that we are talking about. Okay, those that's watching this video, you have to remember one very important thing. There is a gap between the Orchard Boulevard area and the River Valley area. So next time if you compare, if there's another project coming up, then you have to see, is it smaller than 20%? If it's smaller than 20, then I think it's a good price that you can go into.
So right now we are going for the unit type. First, we are starting off with the 1 bedroom, which there's only one unit type, 1 plus study. It's at 474 square feet. For this size, they still managed to squeeze in a study. But then I realized there is no balcony. So for this unit type, there is 67 units. 67 units, which is 22%, one quarter, which is quite a bit, right?
This is quite a lot, but 474, we have most of the things that we need. We don't have much things to talk about the floor plan, but we want to talk about comparing the neighboring projects entry price and this upper house entry price. Because when I first do this analysis, I'm a bit struggling because we are so used to the price that is outskirts, or even we talk about maybe close to central region, but not the really heart of central. So sometimes the price I cannot understand. But after looking at some of the prices, the 1 and 2 bedroom seems like undervalued. So now we are going to go straight into this. So this is what is happening
at 19 Nassim, right? So we took what is already being transacted at 19 Nassim for the 1 bedroom itself. The 1 bedroom itself is 538 square feet. So of course, when we put these two layouts, 19 Nassim's 1 bedroom versus Upper House 1 bedroom, you will think that it actually is a bit smaller. Upper House 1 bedroom is a bit smaller, but do not forget that Upper House is actually harmonized. So if Upper House is not harmonized, to be frank, the actual area should be not much of a difference. So you look at 19 Nassim, the 1 bedroom itself, there is living, dining. They are short of a study area, but they do have a very nice walk-in wardrobe and also a balcony. But what's to focus here is that the 19 Nassim transacted price for the 1 bedroom,
for 538.
yes, PSF is at 3,007, 3,008. Quantum is at 2 million.
And bear in mind, this is not harmonized. If Upper House is harmonized, the PSF should be lower than what we are seeing because there's more space that is not usable. If we assume, which I think is highly likely, that we have a range of 2,009 to 3,005 for the launch price of Upper House, this is the range of prices that we are looking at. Even at 3,500 per square foot, which I think this might be one of the few most expensive units in Upper House for 1 plus study, it will only be at 1.659 million. So if we look at it this way, if we can buy anything that is below 1.5 for 1 bedroom, of course, I'm not a strong advocate of buying 1 plus study or 1 bedroom at such a price. But we know that 19 Nassim have already helped us push up the price to 2 million. If I can buy 1.45 and I can get quite a decent rental. Of course, the rental yield will not be the best, but decent rental. I think there is high chance still money to be made, in this situation. But of course, we wouldn't say that it will be very easy for you to sell 1 plus study in resale. But the key thing is, if I buy at 1.35, let's say next time there's no more new launches coming out in the area, I buy at 1.3 to 1.4 million. I want to sell at 1.6 to 1.7 million, for example. Then the projects look not bad, the size look okay. Then you go and see the surrounding project is all 2 million for the same similar type of layout. Then I do think that the buyer will come and place an interest into this unit. Definitely, if you can get any unit that is below 1.45 or below 1.5, I think you have a good chance of making quite a decent amount of profit. So this is a 1 plus study.
So now onto the 2 bedroom. For the 2 bedroom itself, we have the 2 bedroom, 2 bed 2 bath, and then we have the 2 plus study. Let's take a look at the 2 bedroom premium first. It's 700 square feet. So for the 2 bedroom premium, right, for various stacks, you will be seeing the visual screen, which is from level 28 onwards, which will be blocked. So just be mindful of that. Then for the layout wise, it's quite a dumbbell layout, the standard dumbbell layout where you get 2 bed 2 bath. Then after that you got a kitchen. Okay, now on to the 2 bedroom premium plus study. This 2 bedroom premium plus study is of course a bit more premium. I personally feel it's way better because the kitchen, the bedroom, the bathroom itself, you have got the window in all the different
and even your
rooms.
study got full window. If you look at here, your master bedroom, there's a window here, plus there's a window behind. It's very rare to see window that is on both sides, which means that if you open up, the wind can actually flow through. Plus, this is across the whole unit, there's a lot of unblocked views, which means that this master bedroom will be very, very windy. So beside all this point, one thing that we want to highlight is in this region, the unit size and the unit layout to feel better will be very important. If we are talking about outskirts, we might want to go for a smaller unit because affordability is more important. Because people next time buying from you here, they don't have money issue lah. It's I like or don't like lah. So of course, if I can save some money, I will want to save lah. But end of the day is still the layout. They must like it. I'm not saying that this layout are not good, but just that this one is more superior.
Yeah, so later we will show you in terms of top choice. Our top choice is actually the 2+ study because even though the differences between the 2-bedroom and also the 2+ study is 64 square feet in size, the differences in price are actually work out to be 200 over 1,000. Usually we will say go for the 2-bedroom, but in this area we will go for the 2+ study.
Yes, why is it so? Of course, this area is one thing. Second thing is you really can see that the 2+ study with the add-on space of 60 over square feet, they really give you the space to utilize very properly. They give you the additional things that is important. But some projects, they give you the 60 square feet, 70 square feet more, but you don't see the space. That's the thing. So here, I think definitely next time, this one will be easier to sell. Again,
we will touch on the price acceptance of this area in terms of Orchard Boulevard area. Over here, we are going to compare to 3 products. First is 19 Nassim, what's being accepted in 19 Nassim for the 2-bedroom. And then we are going to compare with Cascadian Reserve, which is just launched not long ago, a few years back only. Then the last one, we are going to compare with Somewhere in River Valley. See what's the price acceptance. Then you will understand why we mentioned that Upperhouse 2-bedroom and one is quite undervalued.
So if you look at this very clearly, 19 Nassim is a 678 square feet unit and it's not a 2-bedroom, it's a 1+ study. So if you really look at this layout for the 1+ study, they have a study here, which I think this study you can make into quite a bigger bedroom. But there's quite a lot of wasted space because of the walkway, everything. And it's open concept kitchen. And they are already setting the price at highest 2.3 million. And averagely is all 2 million. So a 1+ study is already done at 2 million for 19 Nassim.
Frankly, from a OCR, RCR point of view, this price for a 1+ study is very high.
It's very high.
But it's still being sold.
Yes, correct. If you just not remember the 538, it's also done at 2.08 million.
Yeah.
That's why when I was thinking Upperhouse at 1.5 million, like very expensive. After I saw this one, I feel that it's very cheap. So these are all done deal at this price point. But now we are going to do a bit different because let's say if same thing, if we are talking about 2,009 to 3,004 per square foot, we will be starting from 2.03 even to 2.45. So I want to ask all of you, even at 2.45 million, your neighboring project, 1+ study done at 2.3 million. Is it safe or not? I would think that even at the highest floor is safe. But of course, like what we have mentioned, the visual screen, we also want to avoid the 28th floor onwards. So anything below, I think the price point is definitely right here. Okay, we are going to do one more step here. This one will take a bit of explanation. So there's a lot of ways to calculate harmonization. First way is I take the size of this Upperhouse unit, 700 square feet. This is already harmonized. Which means that if today this project is non-harmonized, they will be at maybe about 750 square feet.
About 6 to 8% more than the harmonized
Correct.
size.
Because this size, aircon latch, all this will be count into this space. So it will be about 750 square feet. So a right way to calculate, one way to calculate, let's say I'm buying this Upperhouse unit at 2.1 million, for example. Today we calculate 2.1 divided by 700 is 3,000 per square foot. But if it's a non-harmonized project, I will divide by 750. So this is the way that we will be calculating. But today I do it a more shortcut way, which is another way which I add the 7% straight into the 19 Nassim price. Which means that if 19 Nassim today they want to build the same exact space but it's harmonized one, which means that they don't count at the aircon latch, their price have to increase by this amount, which eventually they will get a bigger unit in terms of the actual feel, but bigger quantum because they cut away all the aircon latch. So now if we add a 6 to 8%, even the 1+ study will hit 2.4 million. So if today 19 Nassim is launched, they want to build something that is similar size 6, 7, 8, but it's harmonized, it will be at this price point. So now you look at it, it's even more attractive. And we have seen so many of our videos. I have not been telling you all that this product is good price, but looking at all the prices now, I think it's really attractive. And I think in today's market, there's a slight change of the situation now.
What kind of change?
Last time we always say in video that this project very good because you can buy at the same price as a resale condo. So you get a brand new stuff, but you pay a resale price. You buy a brand new car, pay a resale price car.
Let me guess. Now on top of that is that not only you can buy a resale price,
low resale price.
Oh, but at a non-harmonized price.
In a way, the key thing is not just Upperhouse. It's every project is like that. We didn't do Lindenwood's analysis because I just came back from overseas, so we have no time to run through. But when I saw the price, I was like, I thought Normanton Park already done 2003, and Normanton Park is not walking distance to MRT.
Nope.
And Lindenwood start from 2001, and I thought the Eden at One North already done 2,400 plus per square foot, and Lindenwood go at 2001. So moving forward, there will be a lot of this type of opportunity with all the launches coming, because honestly, today with so many launches coming up back to back, every 2 weeks there's one, every 1 week there's one. Developer also got stressed to sell as much as possible in the first phase. If not, Upperhouse will not go at this price, honestly. So if you really are looking at, I want to own a piece in the CCR region, I want to move into the CCR region, it's my dream to stay there, I think this is one of the best chance that you can actually enter. So now, if we compare to a 2-bedroom in
19 Nassim,
807 square feet, first way to calculate is we change this to about, maybe this can be about 720 square feet if it's non-harmonized today. So the actual built-in size that we are getting is almost same. And if you look at the layout wise, they are quite similar, just that this is dumbbell. This is not dumbbell. But this kitchen is not totally enclosed. So this whole side, you have to cover it yourself. You can cover up if you want, but this is enclosed. So quite similar product. All no windows in the kitchen and toilets. This one already done, highest 2.879 million. Wow. Moment of silence. So we can get 800,000 discount if they really launch at 2 million. Maybe some of you will say Nassim is a better location. I do agree.
I want to share with you, recently got this phrase that I have been using in Chinese. 是贫穷限制了我的想象. That's exactly how I feel. It's because I'm poor, that's why it limits the perspective. I find this very expensive.
It's really very expensive, but I wouldn't buy at 2.8 million for a 2-bedroom.
But to begin with, we are not target market lah.
Yes, but the key thing is, what we are trying to share here is we don't restrict our own thoughts, using our own thoughts to restrict our purchase, because transaction prove that 2.8, 2.6 is a norm in this region. Yes. And now we have a chance to buy at 2.1, 2.2 million.
The more you say and the more you like trying to sell it, that we are going to get comments saying that of course they sell like that because they're a salesperson.
If those of you have been watching our video, you know that we are quite objective in terms of not all products are good. But looking at all the upcoming prices, I really do think that we have quite a lot of opportunity into this market. Okay?
So again, we actually give you the harmonized price. If let's say the 19 Nassim's 2-bed 2-bath is being harmonized, you can see that it actually shoot up to
same
3 million.
807 square feet, it will hit about $3 million. But of course, if it is 807 harmonized, it will be a much better layout. But you will hit 3 million for a 2-bedroom, which is possible in this region.
Yeah. Then we look down the road, which is Cascadian Reserve, just like a few streets down. Okay, Cascadian Reserve 1 plus study at 700 square feet, which is the exact same size. We are looking at 2.3. Maybe we take the 2.3 out because Cascadian Reserve actually got 1 point they drop price, but we still look at the average is still 2 million.
Yeah, so from 2.3 they dropped to 2 but 700, bear in mind, non-harmonized. So actual unit 600 plus square feet. If we compare to our Upperhouse today, so at an average of 2 million, 2.3 million for a 1 plus study. Today you can get 2.1 million, 2.2 million, 2-bed proper bedroom. And 2-bed, we are not talking about 1 bath, we are talking about 2 proper bath. This one is 1 plus study, only 1 bath. And this is a nice living room, I honestly have to say, but they do not have an enclosed kitchen. So there's a bonus that we can get. Okay, so next, if they would be harmonized and they are selling at 700 square feet, what will they be selling? They'll be selling at average of 2.2, and before they drop price, it will be about $2.5 million for a 1 plus study. Put it this way, in simple fact, we are buying at 1 plus study price. It will be very safe. And this Cascadian Reserve is very near to you. Very, very near.
Of course, just now we mentioned, right, there is always a gap between the River Valley and also the Orchard Boulevard area. But here, we show you a product that is in River Valley, which is Martin Modern, leasehold as well. The 2-bed 2-bath itself, 764 square feet, has been done at how much? 2 million.
So there's two things here. First, a resale will always be slightly cheaper than the new, normally, correct? We don't say that it's vast disparity. Sometimes there will be a big difference, but sometimes maybe about 10%, 15% difference. Second, River Valley is always cheaper than Orchard Boulevard.
Tio.
So by right, these two products would have a gap of about 15 to 30% easily. But today, if you take 764, you harmonize it, it will become about 700 square feet, correct? So it will become the same because you can see the layout are very similar, just that Martin Modern got one thing that is not as good is the kitchen, but the living room, the bedroom, the toilets are all look very similar, okay? And they have already done 1.97, 1.97, 1.95. These are accepted in the market, which means that people are willing to pay River Valley 2-bedroom at 2 million.
So suddenly it's very cheap. People are willing to pay that for River Valley.
Orchard
Boulevard is like an upgrade for them.
Yes. So now Upperhouse at this price, at River Valley done at 2.12 million. I mean, if you can get the 2.11 while you're hanging, but if you can't, 2.2, 2.3, I think it's not a wrong price to begin with because these are accepted price in this region. So I would say one thing, it's guaranteed I can sell at 2 million because River Valley already done. Plus the 20%, it should be 2.4 million. Okay? So one more, which is we do the reverse. If Martin Modern were to be harmonized, at 764 square feet, they will be at about this price point that we are talking about. So now, very important conclusion, our top choice unit will be the
2+ study. Because with the additional 200k, we have got windows in both the kitchen and the bathroom, additional study area come with window, and also very minor thing, but the common bedroom has got a full height window because for the other layout, the common bedroom is with aircon latch. So with aircon latch, you get only half height.
So all the windows is extremely important because this layout will be buying more for own stay.
Yeah, actually we are targeting more own stay, not so much for rental for this 2-bedroom.
Yes. So I definitely think that additional 200,000 for this area is okay. But if you look at this very clearly, Martin Modern is 764 square feet, exactly the same size as the 2+ study. 764, they come with layout like that. No enclosed kitchen, no windows in the toilet, no study room. Now we've harmonized. So I want to show you what is harmonized. Now we've harmonized. Same thing, 764. You look at the layout. I mean, comparing this 2+ study to a 2-bedroom, this one is definitely a more superior layout. And you might buy at about 2.2, 2.3 million.
Yes, correct. That'll be the future selling price of their unit also, the 2-bath.
Honestly, those of you watching this video, I want to ask you, if you are buying for own stay, will you prefer this style of layout or will you prefer the Martin Modern layout? This one is very clear. Top choice, 2+ study.
Without the visual screen, which means without the level 28 onwards.
Even for investment, not for your own stay, even for investment, the 2+ study is the top choice.
I feel like that's the best in this development.
The 3 and 4 is also very nice. Just that the price point, I think, will be high.
3-bedroom, there's only one layout in one stack. It's quite limited. It comes in 1012 square feet. For the 3-bedroom, quite a typical layout that we see. You have got proper bedroom, then you got the master, right? Then you got bomb shelter, and then living, dining, and then nice walk-in foyer area.
Put it this way, the 3-bedroom layout is, you see already, this is something that I saw before. The 2+ study is, I never see this type of layout before. So we want to have this type of feeling, which means that I saw this layout, I will remember, I will tell my friends, I saw this project, the layout of the 2-bedroom very nice, something like that. But the 3-bedroom, you will not bring back this feeling because I think this layout is very applicable to a lot of projects all across Singapore. You will get something like that. Not say that it's a bad layout, it's a good layout, but just that it's common. And I definitely do think that the 3-bedroom, the starting price might be about 10% more. So PSF, we might start from 3.2 and all the way to about 3.7. So even at 3.2, is 3.238 million.
But you know what's the good news though? The good news is that this quantum, right, is already the 2+ study quantum in 19 Asim.
Yeah, that's a very happy news for all of us. But of course, if we start at 10% more in terms of per square foot, I have some doubt about us being able to sell 10% more per square foot in the resale market. Not saying no, possible, but not 100% confirm my 3-bedroom will be 10% more per square foot than the 2-bedroom. But if my 3-bedroom is 3,002, which means next time I minimally have to sell 3.2 or up to 3.334, then I will do what? I will help the 2-bedroom set the record. So the 2-bedroom sellers can tell people already 3-bedroom is at 3.3. I only want 3250. Actually, this will help a lot of the 2 bedrooms owner to make more money from here. But nothing much we can talk about the 3 bedroom. Now the 4 bedroom.
Okay, 4 bedroom, one size, but the differences, this is very complex. Because even though it's within the one stack, but every alternate level, the differences is with the void area in the living room.
So the developer quite smart. The whole area is like that. This is the whole area. Correct? Then this is the whole area also. This is the living and dining area. But they will do alternate, which means that at this floor level,
the even story,
they will have high ceiling on this part. Okay? Then the odd story, they will have high ceiling at this part. So they take over each other's space in between to make the unit more grand. But if we look at these two layouts, personally, I feel this one will feel a bit better because you go in, your living room and your dining is merged together. But this one, when the living is here, the feeling will feel a bit smaller. Because you go in, you feel a bit trapped.
Yes.
So prefer layout number 1, DP2. But one more thing I want
very
to go
specific.
Through. So you see this is what we call the visuals.
This one is the balcony fins because it's the aesthetic.
Fins.
It's not to block. It's not to not look into someone's home.
So you see, if you come out from the balcony, right? There is certain level the fins are here.
Yes.
Certain level the fins are here.
Yes.
So if you are buying DP2, the units that you want to avoid is the one that the fins are here. There is specific floor level that is written here. You can go and check the details.
Never mind, we have it here for you already. These are the units where the fins is actually at the side.
So at the side. So this is the top choice level unit for the 4 bedroom if you are looking to buy for own stay.
Yep.
Because the fins are on this side, which will not affect your visual too much. So I just want to go through one last thing. These are the top choice, but we want to go through the sequence of the unit that we want to get. I run through with you. So you can see from here, top choice is fins that is here, the floor level. Second top choice, you will go back to this layout, which is the fins that is here one. First choice is fins that is here. This second choice.
So you think more important to do without the fins or more important for the layout?
Because these two layout, there is some advantage for this DP2, but it's not like DP2 is way better. It's slightly better. In this region, you buy a 4 bedroom, your view is important.
Of course.
Every day you go out, you see the fins, you're happy.
Of course, and the quantum is not cheap, okay?
We are buying this price, I think 7 million plus.
Wait, Alex, I just realized before I mentioned the car park lot, which is not say very important, but just so you know, if you buy this, the size inclusive of the car park lot.
Correct. So the 2056 includes the car park lot, but they don't include the airspace. Here the airspace is not included.
Correct.
So give and take. But what I'm trying to show you here is all the first, second choice is the fin beside. So DP2 is the first and third choice, and this is the second and fourth choice, DP1. So the third choice will be DP2, but the fins right in front of you. Then the last choice will be DP1, but the fins also right in front of you. So first choice, all these unit gone. Then you go for DP1, but the fins are not in front of you. So these are the sequence if you really want to buy a unit, a 4 bedroom in this region.
By check, the quantum is actually 7 mil plus.
I think the 4 bedroom might be even pricier than the 3 in terms of per square foot. Look at the layout. I think this is really a luxe layout, and this is in a very nice location. So we might start from $3,400, $3,500 per square foot. We might. I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's a possibility. So if we start at 3,435, the unit will be at about $7 million. You want to make money. The big unit is very hard to say because you see like Boulevard also got people make 1.8 million.
My concern is that this is a leasehold.
So if you are talking about buying for profit, if we look at this region, a lot of freehold make money. The outstanding one that the leasehold make money is only Martin Modern.
That's in River Valley.
So I'm not a very strong advocate of the bigger units here. But the small units, based on the price point, I definitely think this is a good development that you can consider if you are looking for investment. Yep. So if you want to understand more, because we wouldn't be able to share everything here, but upcoming, we'll go back to the north side of Singapore,
which is the Canberra Crescent.
And following that, we will have River Green, we will have Promenade Peak, and we have Grand Zion coming, we will have Springleaf coming.
Grand Zion is the parcel A, is it? That's the confirmed name.
But the Zion is ZYON.
Wow, very Gen Z.
We will have one name that I don't know how to pronounce, but I know it's Margaret Drive.
Margaret Drive.
The name is very difficult to pronounce. Next time then we talk.
You mean the name is out?
Out already. I don't know how to pronounce it. So it's
Okay.
at Margaret Drive. That one will be a very interesting project that we want to talk about. But of course, we also want to weigh a very interesting, very hot project. Sometimes the developer will not launch it. So we want to be in highly contested and highly supply area that the developer will also want to sell at a cheaper price to all of us. I think that's the most important. So if not, we'll end off today's video. We will see you very soon in our next video.
Bye.
Bye.